Here it is, day 16 on our spiritual journey. I love the story about the vacationer who had gone down to the island, and he was having the vacation of a lifetime. Each morning he would get up early and he would watch what was happening on the beach. And each morning he saw a man come down to the beach and catch a few fish down there, and then he would leave. And the next day he would come and he would catch a few fish, and then he would leave. And finally, on the last day, the vacationer went to the man and caught him and said, "I notice that you're a really good, have great ability in catching fish. Why is it that you don't get a boat and go out and fish?" And the man asked him, "Well, why would I want to do that?" The man said, "Well, wouldn't it be nice if you had a boat and you could get a crew together and you could teach the crew to fish and you could go out day after day after day to fish?" And the man said, "And why would I want to do that?" And the vacationer said, "Well, so that you can get a fleet of boats. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you had a fleet of boats so that you could manage the boats and tell people what to do, and they could go out and they would fish day after day, and you could become wealthy and get rich?" And the islander said, "Well, why would I want to do that?" And the man said, "So that when you get old, you can retire and you can take life easy and you can take walks along the beach. You can spend time with your wife. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" And the islander said, "But that's what I do now. I spend time with my wife. I spend time with my children. Why do I need to buy a boat, to buy bigger boats, to buy mini boats?" I've heard that story many, many times, and it teaches today's principle. Life does not consist in the abundance of your possessions. Sometimes we keep thinking, "I've got to have more, I've got to have more." Luke 12:15, Jesus said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. A man's life does not consist of the abundance of his possessions." Paul, again, writing to Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 6, we've studied 1 Timothy 6. We're doing a pretty good study through that. 1 Timothy 6, verses 6 through 8. "Do you want to be truly rich? You already are, if you are happy and good. After all, we didn't bring any money with us when we came into the world, and we can't carry away a single penny when we die. So we should be well satisfied without money if we have enough food and clothing." What makes a good life? When you talk about a good life, does it consist of the good life as when you have multiple flat screen TVs, when you have multiple computers sitting around everywhere, when you have 3 or 4 cars in the garage? What makes the good life? The good life does not consist of the abundance of things. The good life is when you are happy and when you have that relationship with God. In our life towards generosity, I would encourage you, strive for the good life.